Welcome to the dressing room with our Arabiya news to a very special podcast episode, our England career and England in general. First of all, how have you done that injury in your thumb?
New slicer, mate.
Slicing stuff, yeah.
Slicing veg and stuff, yeah. I'm gonna stick to knives, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, mate,
Well, there was a part.
I think that's a promotion, isn't it? Like, you failed miserably on
I'm
the
right with a
slicing.
knife. I'm not bad with a knife. A slice is a danger. Mate. I've took a proper chunk off, not like a
Have
little
ya?
nick. I've took a good top
Clean.
top quarter of the thumb off.
Oh,
He's like,
mate.
didn't
Yeah.
you put a hammer through your leg about 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah, I know. I didn't read
Man's
the
trying to
instructions.
mutilate himself.
to be fair. I didn't.
He is a mutant, though, isn't he? Like he just regenerates his skin back. He regenerates his bones.
See what it's like later.
Man, you're like, do you know what you're? You are. You're Wolverine. You're my Wolverine. You're the closest thing to Wolverine that I would know. Southampton Wolverine.
I've got the beard coming.
Yeah.
I like it, mate. I like it. But we're going to talk England.
Yeah.
England has got a special place in all of our hearts. But also, England youth we start with. But we first met on an England youth trip, didn't we?
Yeah.
Famously. Then we had that.
Another time he led me astray. Mate,
That's what he seems to keep
got
doing.
me in trouble. He got me in trouble
Did
a
he?
bit. He got me in a little bit.
Did he?
You know, like what's that film where they Step Bros? We just become best friends? we had that moment. Bro.
We travelled up to London together after a Saints West Ham game.
Yeah.
It was
Really?
under 18s, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was under 18.
Oh yeah, because you got sometimes like when you're going away.
Yeah.
And you played each other, they'll the FA will kind of get you in the same car or.
Well, the
Any
team
bus-
had already met up, but obviously because we were playing for the first team at the time, we were meeting up later. Let's play the game.
So for people listening at home, like England use it's a very organised thing now. Like, you know, you get sent chauffeurs, like, and for a 15-year-old or 16-year-old, remember the first time you get a chauffeur coming outside your house and the geezer in a suit and it was like, what's going on? Like everyone in the flats is like,
What's going on over there?
So we had a car. Me and Bridgie were we were in the first team at the Dell, wasn't it?
I would have just turned 18.
Yeah, I was 17, and we had to get to Heathrow, stay overnight, and we were flying to Spain for a week-long.
Might have been longer than that. It was a tournament, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a
Proper
week tournament in Spain, and there was any of the lads who were playing in the first team, Coley, would go. So I thought, I've got to be in a car for 2 hours with this geezer. I don't know him, right?
You might be a bell.
So we just played against each other. I can't even remember the game, and I was like, all right, geezer, how you doing? You know, like proper awkward. Like, yeah, where do you want to sit? Like, got down, right? Listen, what the kids don't need to understand is there was no iPads. There was, we
Just conversation.
Conversation.
I don't know if Nokias were out then, actually.
It would have been a
phones.
Blackberry, no pins, or
Yeah.
you can't even talk to your mate.
Yeah, and we drove all the way down, probably in silence. And then when we got there, we met up with 3 or 4 other
It
lads.
was
Do you remember who they were?
Wright, David Wright,
David Wright from Crew.
and left back.
Lee Naylor.
Lee Naylor. That
Lee
was it. It was
Naylor.
us 4.
Are you sure
Yeah.
there was 4?
Yeah, I was sure it was
Might have been
4 of
5.
us.
4
The
or
other one
5.
might have stayed in.
Yeah, the other one. So we got there. We met an FA dignitary, and for them people, the FA dignitaries at home, and they're the people you see shaking hands with the first team. No, before the game when they walk along, they're like, "Hello, hello, all right, mate, yeah." Like, no, why are you here?
Who are you?
Anyway, we met one of them, and he's like, "Guys, right, we had a bit of dinner,
Yeah.
and it must have been about 7:30 around that time at this, and then." I don't know, called it on. Someone called it on. Should we go out for a few? Should we go out for a few? Bearing in mind we're 17 and 18. And
where were you?
I was hotel.
Heathrow.
Oh,
Right next to
Heathrow Hotel.
Right
Terminal
there.
what?
We had to
Terminal
get a
what?
flight in
4?
the morning.
I don't know, geese.
You didn't even know what terminal you was at.
We basically had to get a flight in the morning.
Because there's nothing around Heathrow. But even back then, there was nothing around there. So what kind of...
We went in
Adventure-
London, mate. We went London.
You went central.
right in.
Right, listen, this is it, right? So I've gone,
went local.
they've gone,
In our
right,
England
let's go out,
tracksuit.
let's go out. I've got no experience. It ain't like I'm going out with Carlton Cole in the mid-2000s when he's got a hotline to every nightclub in London. You know what I mean? You can go anywhere. And I'm thinking, I've fronted it like, oh yeah, I'll sort it. I'm like, and I'm thinking, oh no, we got England tracksuits on.
No.
So I'm going, right, let me call someone. And I've rung my mates on the hotel phone. I've gone, listen, coming out, and they go, can't come out tonight, blah, blah, whatever. Where should I go? I'm like, I don't know, Leicester Square, like a touristy place, right?
Square.
I think the club was called Gas Club. Or
I remember Gas Club.
Downstairs.
It was
like,
garage
dingy.
night. It was
garage night, dingy, grimy.
That's the way we like it.
So I've got that, and I'm walking up to the door, and I've fronted it all the way from Heathrow to Leicester Square. Going, don't worry, lads, I've got this right.
In tracksuits.
Right? I think, and in tracksuits, I'm thinking, how on earth are we getting in right? So I've got a bullseye in my pocket, and I've walked up to the bouncer. I'm looking at him. He must have seen the desperation in my eyes. I've fronted him, and I've gone, all right, mate, how are you? Like, I think I'll give him that one. Like the little man.
Like you know what you're doing. Like you know what you're doing.
The guy's obviously felt the bullseye, and he's gone, all right, so, and I've gone, mate, and I've listened, please let us in. And we went in, and it was bouncing. And I thought, you're like, oh, thank God for that.
Yeah.
And anyway, we had a brilliant night. Everyone was bouncing everywhere. It was like, we had a great night, like 3-4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And we've gone, we got to get home now.
Yeah.
But we lost, was it Righty?
I can't remember. I think it might have been right.
Whether it was 5 or 4, it went down -1. We lost Righty, right? And we just gone back where we was steaming. And we got back to the hotel, and he's straight away, and this is when I knew I loved him. He went, let's bang on his door. I went, who? He went, the dignitary looking after us, right?
At what time?
4
in the morning. I'm like,
Oh
don't do that, kids. I'm like, don't do that. You're not going to do that. And I'm like, then my little naughty self come up and you're not going to do that. You're not gonna do that.
And you know, as soon as
I've
you
just
hear
gone
him,
bang, 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 and legged it down the floor.
Like that, right?
That's brilliant.
Running into stuff, but we've lost, but we've lost Righty, right? So then, you go to bed, you wake up, and it's like breakfast at 9:30.
Yeah.
Then we're going to, and like, we've had breakfast and we still can't find him. And then we're panicking now, me and him and Lee Nally were like, well, no phones, remember? Like, this guy's just got to get back.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and we're waiting for our coach with our bags, with he ain't said nothing, has he? To be fair to him,
he didn't say
he didn't say a word to us, but we know that he knows, like, that it was us.
Yeah.
And we're going, just play it cool. Like,
cool, Rodney.
cool. And it would let's be God knows how
Play it cool, Rodney. Play it cool.
God knows how I'm like the one. I'm like him and Naylor going to me. You're gonna have to tell him that we've lost someone. We've lost him. And I'm going, what I mean? So I'm literally, and it was like, oh right, and you're building up.
Right, he's still not there.
He's not there, right? He's not there, and I'm like, oh, I'm literally, I can looking at the fella. I can picture his face. Don't know his name. Right, and I'm looking at him. Right, I started. Right, I'm gonna have to go to him. Like, sir, listen, we're man. They were school teachers, weren't they? We're school. I was, sir, listen. I'm sorry, we're a man down. We lost someone. Right, I confessed to everything. Then behind him, I just see Righty stumble out the cab. And he's like, and I'm thinking, and he's like behind him, and he's gone upstairs, quick change, and he's got in. And he's like, where you been? He went, I don't know. I slept in a shop doorway. He slept in a shop window, and then
doorway.
And then I remember David Platt was turning up to meet us when he was travelling with us.
Oh, no.
So then we got on the coach and we got there. Anyway, the fella, and fair play to him, he never once mentioned a word apart from one time. One time.
20 years later.
Oh, this
I'm
is
talking
10 years later.
But he must have rose up the ranks from babysitting 18-year-olds to becoming one of the guys that shake
Main
hands,
guys,
like
yeah.
the main guys
Yeah.
with the ties.
Yeah.
When you win the cup.
And when you win, like, and he's coming. We're playing for England, and he's coming along. I've seen him. I've got great scene.
So this guy,
And he's gone, and he's leant in. He's leant into me, and he's gone. And to be fair, I did actually like him. He swore at me. He went, "You little."
Yeah. Oh, is it?
He said, banging on my door at 4 a.m. He said, "Good luck," and I'm about to go and play for England. I was like,
Oh, that's
so
brilliant.
for everyone who digs all them, they've got a heart
Yeah,
because he
they
could have
do.
stitched us,
Yeah,
didn't he? He
yeah.
could have stitched us, and he didn't. But
That's brilliant. That's a great
funny.
story.
yeah, and that's the first time. And then
Yeah.
Bridgie, it was
Yeah,
good.
that is brilliant. And you've never looked back since.
Never look back.
Still going out now.
I'm going out now, still doing the naughty stuff. You know what I mean?
Still doing the same
But you
thing.
know what? Yeah, those are the type of stories where that's where you make bond
Yeah.
and make friendships. And even if, like, you know how it is in football, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do make friends on the way, yeah?
Yeah.
But, you know, like, when you've made a friend, you just know this is for life, this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, we see a load of, we go in different dressing rooms all the time, play for different clubs. And you do bond with people, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing saying that you're going to stay in contact after if you have to leave on and go and do
There's a lot of
something else.
goodbyes, isn't there?
There's a lot of goodbyes, but not. And I always hope there's not a goodbye forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hope that we
See you later. See
we
you soon.
reconcile. Yeah, but it's just not that sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's some friendships that I've made on the way that I've not. We've not got together again. Do you know what I mean? I thought, I never thought that
Yeah.
I wouldn't be speaking to you because we were so
Yeah.
tight when we was playing together. So it's weird.
You actually said to us the other night on the night out, you went,
Yeah.
what did he say? He said,
Well,
I never thought I'd be friends with you two.
cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
But
I
it's
think
true,
you
though.
said that on here.
No.
I said on one of
But
these.
you know what it is, yeah? That is what it is. I always thought, but me and you, but I've always had my little circles. You had your circles.
Yeah, man.
And it's not like we was into the same things at the time. Like, I was doing my own thing. You were doing your
I
own
think
thing.
it's because we've all got our group of friends from school and from younger ages.
Yeah, and I'm always with them. That's one thing with me, right?
Yeah.
I've always had my friends from school. I never actually
Yeah.
had loads of football mates.
Yeah.
I was friends with everyone, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but I didn't have, like, say, he's my best friend in football or anything like that. I
Yeah.
never had that. So as you get older, you kind of just gravitate to who is on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why we're here.
Or who still goes out.
You know what I mean? But it's brilliant. I remember my first England trip.
Go on.
Actually, no, my first one, I got called up for England under 19s. And you know, like, getting called up, I was actually kicking it from before I got called up for England under 19. But you know, there was always like the ones that are always getting picked
Yeah.
from under 15s
So your
all
age
the way up to under 19s when it starts to get a little bit more serious. So I was 2083 birthday. So
2083.
1983. I'm playing in the future. I'm in the future. See, look, I'm in the future.
It's early at the moment for us.
It is early. I'm in the future here, though. That's what I think. But 1983, baby. So I was in that group.
3 years younger.
Yeah, so 3 years younger than you guys. But it was, I got to that stage. I don't know. I got it there just through merit because I was scoring goals and it was going well. But they had to obviously eject some players that were always in the group up to that age.
Yeah.
And it was, so I didn't really know anyone in that group
Right.
when I went. And I had to obviously make new friends and I got going. That was at the under 19s. Then I got promoted to the under 21s because I started playing first team football.
Right.
And then that's when I met my first under 21 trip. Joe Cole was on it. Was you on it?
I don't know. I didn't last
played
long under
Turkey.
21s.
No,
No.
you-
I had Harold Wilkinson and
Yeah.
Oh,
I fell
no.
asleep in a meeting and things like that.
Oh my God. What did you do?
Can't just glaze over that.
Howard. What did you do to Paul Howard?
Nothing. I just tired. Just fell asleep. The meeting wasn't the most exciting though. It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Imagine a Howard
If
Wilkinson.
you're tired.
Did you ever play with Howard?
No, I didn't.
No?
I didn't.
It's
I
I
played a
went-
few times under 21s.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many.
You
But
didn't play many times, did you?
didn't
You went
play
straight in because I went. We both went straight in and back, but
yeah.
Yeah, because you'd already played
Yeah,
first team, and when you came down with my group, I was like,
Yeah.
wow, big boys are down.
yeah.
And like, I'm in that group, so am I classed as a big boy? I didn't know, but I was buzzing that you were there. I was like,
Who else is in the under 21 team?
Our 21s. Oh God, you know, with Scott Parker, Franny Jeffers, Darius Vassell. I mean, you seem like
Remember
I
Luke
played.
Chadwick? Remember Chadwick?
Luke Chadwick was Howard Wilkinson's favourite, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he liked
played
him.
loads.
Yeah,
what's it? Dave Prutton would have been.
yeah,
Yeah,
Dave Prutton,
Prutton, he was
yeah.
there. He
Another
was
one.
playing as well.
Prutz was captain, wasn't he?
Mate,
Well, he was my captain.
yeah.
When
Yeah,
I was
for
in-
the younger people, he's the guy. He's the guy on
Sky
telly that
Sports,
does
yeah.
championship
Isn't he?
football. He's like the face of championship football.
Yeah.
He does the presenting now.
Yeah, he was a good player. You know,
Yeah.
he was
It was steady, like
steady,
Nottingham Forest, box
yeah.
to box.
You talk to me about Howard Wilkinson before we go back to Carlton.
Yeah,
I didn't know you fell asleep in the meeting.
We need to talk about this.
yeah. Do you,
It wasn't that bad. I just fell asleep, man. Woke up.
Is that it? Actually,
No,
is
no,
that
it's
bad?
I need to know. Like, did you fall asleep? He's doing the tactics, and then you get the red pen in or something.
It
like,
lays it in your eye.
Oh, I
Are you
can't.
with
I
us?
should be getting woke up.
You got.
But those
proper
meetings are so boring.
Was you
aren't they?
snoring?
yeah.
I don't know.
How'd you get
I actually
caught?
don't know, man. I was asleep.
Because it's the projector's there, isn't it? So you
Yeah.
must have been the
Man, I
back.
don't even know if there was a projector. He was just talking for a long time.
That's why I love this guy. That's not interested you.
Hey, you sometimes just can't help it. You
It's
know,
true.
you're nodding and you're
Yeah,
like, I've got to stay. Well, I've fallen asleep at the wheel before. So.
Have you?
I have as well, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah, I've done that. I
Yeah?
wrote off my car.
Oh, God.
Mate, I just saw Sparks and Kai on
And it was
the right-hand side.
and it was on the way to a
great.
game.
Was yours on the way to a game?
A reserve game.
Who are you,
Oh,
man?
my God.
Yeah, we did. Well, not like I do, so I fell asleep.
What?
Another thing I
How
did
do you
is
fall asleep
I
on the way to
I
a
put
game
the-
and
I
you're
put-
driving?
And because I knew I was tired, I thought, right, undo the window, bit of fresh air, but
Yeah.
I chose the wrong music.
What was it?
I put Bob Marley.
Oh, that's a bad
recipe
choice.
for disaster.
Bad
Luckily,
choice.
no one else is injured.
Yeah.
Was a-
Or was I, actually? But I remember crashing into Central Reservation.
I done that.
Mirror came flying through the window.
I done that, yeah.
The whole side of the car was...
Really?
Yeah.
I've done
alright.
that, but mine was
Everyone's
mine was worthy.
Really?
Like, yeah,
What was you-
I'd gone
And
a
I
night
think-
out.
Right.
I weren't driving to a game where I'm supposed to be awake.
Well, I learnt my lesson. Do you know what I mean? Now, if I'm driving, I'm tired. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
that's
not
a good
doing
principle.
this.
you
Important
just
message.
pull off-
Anyone-
pull off on the hard shot.
It's the most-
Anyone-
it's so dangerous.
Anyone,
man.
yeah, anyone listening to this, like, if you
You
are,
ever
don't
tired,
drive
mate,
tired,
yeah,
especially
don't ever do it.
put a dressing room pod on. That'll keep you up, hopefully.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We won't bore you off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you do fall asleep while listening to us,
Then we got a problem. But no, so carrying on. So Howard, you fell asleep with Howard.
Yeah,
Did you get in trouble?
I think so, yeah. I might have been sent home. I found vaguely remember
Got
getting sent.
sent home for falling asleep.
No,
What point at me?
no,
Like-
I didn't get. I didn't get sent home. I got a bit of a telling off. Never got sent home, but I never think I got called up again
Right,
afterwards.
okay.
Oh, was that what it was?
Do you
Not
remember-
that you was just too good for it.
before.
No, I basically stopped playing for England 21s, and then I got my full England
Yeah.
call up after
Oh,
Yeah.
that. I remember not getting recalled.
He was a funny,
After a
he was a
little
funny
fall
geezer,
asleep
wasn't he?
one.
Like, but you know what would say about Howard Wilson? The last English manager to win the top flight, the Premier League, the year before it became the Premier League, was Howard Wilson.
Was
All them
it?
years
Is it,
ago,
yeah?
yeah, with Leeds.
How do you know that?
Just
Mate,
what I
Leeds,
mean,
they were a good team at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know what?
They
You
just fell off,
impress
didn't
me.
they?
Yeah.
He impresses me sometimes, don't you think?
Yeah.
How does he know that?
I don't know, mate.
Who they have in that team?
They had
Rio. Was Rio in
No,
that
no,
team?
David
No.
Batty, Gary Speed, Lee Chapman, Gordon
Was it-
Strachan,
but
Gary
before
McAllister.
Woodgate, before
92,
Woodgate.
before that,
Oh,
5 years.
miles
It was
before,
not.
miles
So
before.
Lee Bowyer was in that.
No, before. It's
Before?
92, before the Premier League. Premier League started, I think, in 92 or 93, and it was the 91-92 season.
Oh.
And they won it. And
Oh,
Can-
all the players,
Cantona.
all the players
Lucas
I'm
Radebe.
talking about were miles
Lucas
after.
Radebe.
Was Cantona in it?
I believe Cantona may have been in it.
Lucas Radebe?
I don't think even before Lucas.
Is it?
Yeah, man, it was a proper it was the birth of English football. But anyway, we've gone a bit too serious there. We digressed. I want to get back onto
England.
It's Howard Wilkinson, right? So, do you remember this? Because he was quite at the time. Imagine it's 92, so we're sort of 99-ish playing for
Yeah.
under 21. So it's only 6-7 years ago from him being the title-winning manager. You know, it's like in 6 or 7 years' time, Klopp taking England under 21s or Pep. So he was still a big name in the game when we took him. And do you remember he was quite? Do you remember Techno Dave, the geezer who used to get up on the? So we never. I don't
No, Dave.
no, right. So
Who's
anyway,
that?
Tech man.
Tech man. But he was the first ever tech man I saw.
Oh.
Right. So like nowadays, you go into a club, there's analysts everywhere
Yeah.
with their laptops.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Techno Dave had the biggest laptop in the world. Right. I
Hefty.
swear he was a hacker. Like you could be in outer Eastern Europe, and if you wanted to watch Sky Sports,
He'll plug
he'd
it in.
find it for you. He'd be up there with a coat hanger,
coat
top of the
hanger.
hotel. He'd get you it right.
Fine
It's
tune it.
unbelievable. But it was the first time I'd ever. Howard used to record training sessions. Didn't you remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
And it blew my mind. It was so far forward. Kids might think it's normal now, and it is. But we'd be training, and it'd be really cold, and they'd build a scaffolding next to the pitch.
Yeah, pitch.
He'd get the camera. Techno Dave would be up there on this scaffolding, which didn't look safe, and he'd be swaying like that with the camera. And do you remember this rightly? Howard had speakers on the side of the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember? So
Yeah.
we'd be doing
So
shapes.
did he start
He
that?
started all of that, mate.
Because I remember we started doing that at West Ham. I was like, what's
He
going on
wasn't, he
here?
wasn't much of a shouter, was he?
It wasn't much of a show, but it was hilarious because he had the mic on, and he'd be like, "Joe, when we don't let cutting," but then he'd
mate.
but then
Man's on the tannoy.
he'd be shouting with the speakers, and they'd be like, but then because they were so sensitive, he'd be muttering to himself, "Bloody useless," and everyone would hear it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's-
I remember that.
So Techno Dave, he
No, Dave, I
produced.
don't know where he is, but he was the first of a kind. He was a trailblazer.
He was.
Like, so I imagine someone going, "What? You need someone who can film something and
Yeah.
put it on That was the first time going to England under 21s, because we never did it at West Ham with Harry, where we did like some kind of videos of what we were doing. Like we turn up.
I don't think I've done it for any other team. I don't think at all.
I'm like, wow, this is like we're advanced.
Yeah,
here.
we're advanced there.
Yeah.
I've seen things that when I go back to the club, they've never seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know more than them. But I'm telling you, so Howard Wilkinson is a trailblazer.
Howard Wilkinson was a trailblazer, and I don't know if he's still about, but he was.
Do you know who was my guy when I
Go on.
got called up to the 21s? David Platt was the main.
Yeah.
So Platty. That was that group.
Yeah.
Called up to the 21s. Platty was the manager. Who was in that group? You were, I think, Mickey Carrick,
Scotty Parker, Shalom Yobi, Rice for Sale.
No, Scotty Parker weren't in that one.
No.
He didn't make that. I don't know why he didn't make that group. The Rice wasn't. Who was up front? A few
They
others.
all got called up the same time as me, I
Vassell
think,
was-
the England
Yeah.
team.
Vassell was round the England squad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Rice.
we had Franny Jeffers.
Franny
Jeffers.
I like playing with Franny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good
I
player,
did,
man.
I thought he was like, because I
Really good
played. He was one of them like people forget about him. He scored. He's 1-on-1 for England.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. He's top
Yeah.
top player.
Yeah.
And who else would you have? We had obviously Jermaine Defoe was in that group.
Yeah.
Sean Wright Phillips, Pratton again. Who's the defenders? I think we had Matty Upson.
Yeah, Matty Upson would have been there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, we had Matty Upson. We had
A bit older.
maybe he was older. Was Matthew Upson older than you?
I think he's a year older than me or my age.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it was. We had a good old Matt Dawson.
Yeah, Michael Dawson.
Michael Dawson, sorry.
Yeah.
Had a few other some big boys in that group.
Yeah.
Tom Huddlestone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you weren't in the system up till 19.
Until
19, 21.
No,
And
I just
how was
started
that
going
for you?
bosh.
Coming like, so explain that. What was it? Did someone from Chelsea tell you got called up, or is it you got a letter?
I can't remember, man. I feel like we got a letter, didn't we?
Yeah.
Back then, we got a letter. Wasn't, and then obviously the gaffer tells you, you've been called up. You got to go away. You're going here. You're going up to Newcastle. That was the Newcastle.
Yeah, that was the game. Yeah.
Where it was up at St James's Park. We had to win the game as well against Turkey to qualify for the Euros,
We drew.
and we drew.
Did you find with our era? Nowadays, you've got like they're all at St George's Park. They're in from 15, and they're in, and they do loads of camps together, and they get ingrained in what the England culture is. And
Yeah.
there's a step.
Yeah.
And the lads, it's a real big. They feel like they're England.
Yeah.
With us, it was just thrown around, and people would come and go. And I don't think and a lot of us were playing Premier League football, all them players at the time. So I don't know about you two, but when I got called up to the 21s, and I'd been playing for West Ham in the Prem, I'd almost feel like I'd love playing for England, but it was a step down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was and a lot of the lads felt they did a bad job at the time of going. I know this is. If I was in the 21s, I was like, I just want to be there. I don't want to mess about with this stuff. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying, but for me, it was a privilege to always wear that.
Yeah, of course,
whether it was
of course.
under 21s or first team, or under 19s for that matter of fact.
Yeah.
I think I played one under 20 game, but it was just a privilege to put on that strip because you're being recognised for being one of the best up and coming players or one of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
And that's always a privilege. And look, like my son now, he's got called up for Sierra Leone under 20s. He's 16 years old, but I said when they called him out, I said go.
Yeah.
Just go and play international football. So you get exposed to different type of players, different type of attackers because he's a left centre back or a left wing back. So it's going to change you and your mentality towards the game because all you know is English football.
Yeah.
There's a whole array of other styles of play and how people look at the game. And I really think it's important for any young player to expose yourself. Even if it's your mother's country or your grandma's country or your granddad or dad's country, and you're not fully from here, go and explore others. You don't have to always wait for England. I know England is the cherry on the top after, because that's what we all, when you was dreaming to be a footballer, you always said, I want to make it feel like the first memory you have for England, whoever you played for, like whoever you watched for your first. You want to have that feeling, don't you?
Yeah.
What was your first England experience?
I've said it loads of times before. It's actually the reason I wanted to be a footballer was the Italia '90 World Cup, Gaza, because my mum and dad weren't weren't into football. There was no football in my house growing up, but the World Cup just grabbed everyone's. And I remember distinctly working at the fruit and veg store with my dad in Burnt Oak, and he had a bet with someone and he never had a bet, and he never even liked football, but he was into the World Cup.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, England are going to beat Germany. England will beat Germany, and it was 50 quid bet. So back in them days, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of dough.
And I'm like, wow, Dad loves football now as well. So I'm like buzzing with that. And we got it, and the telly was about that big. We was watching it on in the house, and I'm like, I don't want one of them fat ones.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it.
Pull the seats right up.
Yeah, to have
We all
a
gathered round, right? And we had a little fan heat. Well, no, it was summer when it wouldn't have been then, but I was sitting all up like watching it and watching Gaz, and I was just like mesmerised. And I can remember like the nerves in the game. Nearly Prissy Waddle hit the post. I can remember the game, bits of it like it was yesterday. And then when Gaz cried, I don't know why, like it's got to me. Like when he cried, and like I looked around, and my mum and my dad were feeling the emotion of it. Like got everyone in, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to play for England.
Yeah, because it's
at the World
affecting
Cup.
everyone around you and
I'm
who you care about.
That's what it was. I was like, what is this?
It's emotion, yeah.
I've been playing football, but hadn't actually played a game, a proper game. I was like, this is
That's the level.
this is what I want to do. And I was like, wow.
That's amazing.
Mate.
What about you, Bridgie? What was your first England memory, and how did that experience go?
Memory as in like player or as like a fan?
As a kid, like as a fan.
Mate, I don't think as a kid I ever thought like there was a moment where I think, I want to be a footballer. I think I would just,
Really?
I love football and love playing.
Yeah.
And I want to be a footballer and I want to.
What would you have been if you weren't?
Play.
What would you
I
been?
don't know, mate. Who knows? I'll be struggling somewhere. I just think I just always play in the park, and obviously playing. My dad was a Saints fan, so he's pretend to be Rod Wallace and things like that.
really?
Rod
You pretend
Wallace.
to be a player.
I like Rod.
Mate, he was a player, Rod Wallace. I
He
don't
was
think he
a footballer.
made a full England call-up, but he played under 21s.
Yeah, the Wallace
And
family.
obviously, I remember, like, I think it was 1980. I think it might have been 1990 actually, with Dad and like getting the sofa right up in front of the telly and watching it. But I don't think there's anything where I just thought in my head, I thought, I want to really, I really want to play for England. I really want to do this. I wanted to be a footballer because I loved the game of football, but not like kids today where they want to get into an academy or they want to do this. I just played it because you just love playing the game. I never really, I wanted to be a footballer, but I didn't, not as much as, obviously, not as much what kids are now, where they're from a young age they're just constantly thinking about, I want to be in an
That comes from that comes from the parents, though.
Comes from the parents, yeah.
'Cause it's failed footballer parents' dream.
Do you know what it is?
I think the only where it really probably hit me, where I think, I've got to do it or I want to do it, it's now or never, was when I got called up to Southampton at the age of 13 or 14, and it was just like, well, I either go or I don't go.
Yeah.
So I got the chance to go, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well go now.
You're
You're that good.
Yeah.
You're that good.
Well, I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, I know.
I've not played with anyone from. I played for Hampshire a couple of times, but I was just playing grassroots football, and it was Mickey Adams who spotted me and
Is it?
called my
Mickey
mum.
Adams, a Leicester manager.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
So he was watching his mate's kid play, and then he approached my mum and dad, and then it was.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Just
And then it
organic
was
like
just-
that.
Imagine you just don't even know how
wanna
good
go
you
or not
actually
go.
are.
Yeah.
Like, that's the amazing part of
Yeah.
it. Like you don't actually see. Like when people ask me, when did you know you was gonna be a footballer, or when did you decide?
I don't
to be a
think you'll
footballer? I
ever
didn't decide. I didn't decide. It just happened.
know.
Yeah.
Like we don't decide these things. You
just keep going.
You keep going. Work hard. It's not like I want to be a footballer. I want to be a footballer. It was just like, see what goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
know what I
want
mean?
it, don't you? Because you're out
you want
playing
it.
and you
You wanna
love
win.
playing. You want to.
wanna
I
win.
remember as a kid, like, and it's not like I remember it was last year of primary school, and you had to stand up at this like assembly or at the end of the year, your parents come watch and say what you want to be, and it was like, I'm going to say I want to be a footballer.
Yeah.
So the teacher was
the
like, we
easiest thing
can't
to
say
do.
that. It's not realistic.
What's this team? Everyone's got that story.
It's not realistic.
Yeah, but it's not one of them moments that
I know.
stands out for me and goes, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right. I stood up and went, I want to be CID when I Because I used to watch The Bill with my mum and dad. I was never going to be one of them, but...
I'm gonna be Secret Service.
That's unrealistic.
That's really more unrealistic,
old Bill.
You're gonna be the old Bill. I'm gonna be Secret Service. Nah, do you know what? Yeah, like I actually got because you see Biggie, Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
He's got a song about that.
Yeah.
And his teachers have said he'll always amount to nothing and all that. So it's, but it's true though. Like you shouldn't. I just don't understand teachers back in the day. What was you doing? Like what?
Yeah.
Because you failed at what your dream. Don't try and put that on everybody else.
You can understand.
No.
Why? No, I can understand why they say it, but not to a kid where you just don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, it is
I don't understand
when
why
you get
they
to
say
a
it.
certain age and...
Oh yeah, if you get to
even-
if you're
yeah, I
still
guess
saying it
no.
when you're like 21, then it starts to become unrealistic. Not saying it.
I get
can't do it.
why they say it, but also like, yeah.
Yeah, mate, I'm with you. Like, mate, any teachers out there thinking about saying that to them, don't say that.
Yeah, don't say it. Keep their dream alive.
You know what I mean, the kids.
The kids, like,
Can be anything they want to be.
astronaut, footballer.
Yeah,
I
rocket
don't know.
scientist.
Listen, there's only step in if they say, well, they want to be like a, I don't know, like a
murderer.
Yeah, step in then. Everything else.
Like I want to be a murderer. Listen, son, that's unrealistic. Sorry.
But it depends.
That's unrealistic.
Depends what part of London you're from. This has gone really off piece.
Anyway,
I got a list
that's
of
what it's
things.
supposed to do. Okay. Yeah. So look. So let's talk about my dream and my first exposure to World Cup and Euros.
Yeah.
I just remember. My earliest one, because I never used to really pay attention like that, because I wasn't really into. I shouldn't say it really, because I always preach now. Any young footballer that don't watch football, like they're doing something wrong. Well, I was one of those kids because I actually didn't watch a lot of football. I used to love watching Italian football.
Yes.
When it came on. When it came
started
on
coming
Channel 4. On Channel 4. And there's none of that no more.
goals.
Listen, TNT are missing a trick, by the way. They should be
Like,
showing that weekend. They should have... Channel 4 should be tuning into TNT, and getting that back. Do you know what I mean? Because that I think that should become terrestrial again.
Yeah.
Because that's why I fell in love with Italian football. Ravanelli. Vialli. Baggio. Like...
Yeah, but it was the characters of the game.
Maldini, like this is
It looks so
and when they scored a goal,
exciting.
Reggie, when they scored a goal, it was like, good. Like, remember the geezer? Yeah, but remember the geezer? He said it. I was like, this geezer's gonna run out of breath soon, but he's still going. And I used to love it.
Do you know what I remember that? Do you remember they had the cages up, right? And I used to think like, they scored.
Yeah.
Like Signori, they jumped on the cage, and the fans were there.
So much passion.
And when I scored in the playground in the cages, I jumped to and I see this kid on the cage going like,
Oh, mate, I'm telling you, man, like it's unbelievable. And so that was my first memories. But then talking about the World Cup or Euros even, I just remember Gaza. Yeah. Gaza against Scotland. Yeah. When I think he flicked over Colin Hendry's head and flicked it back. Yeah. And if we could get this cut out, it's like edit. Or if there's no edit, I've done something else. I've done something similar for England, but I didn't score.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So when he's done that, but he's done it in a different position.
Get the cut
out. You need to get it. He done it from the left and he scored. Bang, goal. Unbelievable player.
Yeah.
And then it's when he went on the floor.
Yeah,
and
in his chair.
It was brilliant. That's my main memory. And I was thinking,
we should recreate the dentist chair.
Yeah, we should.
We should next night out.
And then, but I've done something similar to that goal. This is where I came on. Me and Jermaine Defoe. This is a friendly. I think we played Holland first team. Me and Jermaine Defoe come on, and I almost scored with it. Like
really,
I've knocked it past it with my right foot. It's come on that side of the defender. He's span. As soon as I see his number, I knew I had him. Yeah. Knocked it again on my other foot, and then bang. Yeah. Just from outside the box. Almost scored. I was like, if that goal went in...
Yeah, that's the signature Carlton Cole.
I'm a bit Pele. Yeah? I am the man. Do you know what I mean? So, but that was... that was my memory. that Gascoigne goal, unbelievable. And that made me feel something. Made me feel something. I was like, I need that.
Yeah.
I want that. You know what I mean? And never scored for England in the end, but it was just I didn't score. I didn't score for the first team. I scored a bucket of goals for the 21s and the 19s, but first team I was so disappointed. My debut against Spain, in Seville with Capello as manager. My debut.
I watched the game. I was injured.
Yeah, he was injured. Beckham put me through, and I was like, I think I was in the moment of thinking, wow, that was David Beckham. Like, he's put me clean through here. I've gone round Pepe Reina.
Cheers, Dave.
Cheers, Dave. I'm doing that on the pitch.
In your head while you
mate, listen, mate. It's the load of stuff that goes in there that cannot be explained. It's UFO stuff. It's like it's a mystery. Yeah. I don't even know what's going on. I'd love to. Do you know what? I'd love to break down when I'm in the moment of what actually goes through my head and how I'm going to attack this. It's all split second stuff, innit? Like, anyway, I've gone around Pepe Reina and I've almost scored, and I've like passed it in basically.
Yeah.
I swear down, the left back, for Spain. I don't even know his name, bruv. Like, it's like he just appeared out of nowhere. He just spawned out of nowhere and just got into the position, cleared it off the line. I was like, how dare you? That was my time. That was my time to like, it was a statement.
Yeah. Scored against Spain.
And I mean, like, I was like, oh man, forget about the score, we lost, but it was a moment in my life where it could have spun everything around, and I could have gone and had a great career for England, maybe. I don't know. But when that happened, you see this geezer, I need to find out his name, He's cleared it. I've never heard of him after that. It's like he was just there for me.
He's sitting on a podcast in Spain going, when I played for Spain, Carlton Cole went round a keeper and I just spawned. Dealt with him.
That was his best moment in a Spanish shirt. I'm telling you, mate. Like, he just messed up my career, and he's like, I don't know what he's doing now. But anyway, that was favourite moments, man. That was good.
I was when I was Bridget quickly about, because you scored, didn't you? I remember you. I bet you I can remember your goal, because I remember your game you scored. Iceland.
Yeah.
Friendly.
There's one memory I just got to bring up when you talk about Gaz and the special goals.
Yes, please.
One memory that sticks out for me. David Platt.
Yes.
I can't remember who it was against.
Belgium.
It was an important goal.
Oh, yeah, Belgium.
Second
Mate,
round.
ball comes over and he swivels on the side.
Yes.
Mate, what a goal that was. Wasn't that right near the end of the game? Or was it to bring it level?
I can even tell you.
It was to bring it level, wasn't it? Or was it to win it?
To win the game. Send us
through. Win the game, yeah.
I can even tell you, I think it was Mark Wright, the centre-half from Liverpool, who clipped the worst ball. Like, you know, like when you put in you want to clip a flat ball for the centre forward to head it across and then you score. So they've messed up the free kick, I think. Yeah. And David.
No, you'd say he meant it.
David's running. He's spun. Beautiful goal.
Yeah.
I remember. You're right. I remember as soon as that goal went in, run out, got knocked on my mate's door.
Did you see?
He said, "Come on, you." Throw that ball.
No, you weren't doing that.
And he was throwing the ball, and everyone taking turns.
Oh, what a man he was.
Up and down the country.
Imagine that, watching that and then seeing him in real life. And he was my manager with my first England under-21 squad.
Well, the next time we saw him, we was hungover on the way to...
for you too.
He's in the bus with us. We thought we'd lost...
I've got a brilliant story for that one, though.
Yeah?
Oh, David Platt.
But we'll have to...
Eggy Boff.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, we'll get onto that.
My goal was against Iceland.
Yeah, I was there. I remember.
Yeah.
Good finish.
It was all right.
Yeah.
I think it might have been a little bit shinny, footy type thing.
What?
But I scored one. Do you know what I mean? Scored for England, so buzzing.
Was it niche and toe?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
After what? Yeah, it wasn't the
good shenanigans.
Right. It went in, mate. It went in. Do you know what I mean? It was
pure
right.
shenanigans.
I think you were playing.
I'm playing.
I can't remember who put me through. Well, you were part of the goal. You had the ball at one point.
It's always part of it. It's number 10.
Might have been,
down to me.
It was like 4-5-0, wasn't it? It was like,
But my favourite memory probably would have been my debut, though, I think.
Yeah. Against?
Yeah. Holland.
Did you have a stonker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only played... I started and I was... Oh, mate, I played well.
Yeah.
I've played well.
You're humble. For you, do you know what? You're a humble guy. You don't usually say that.
No, I did play well. But I remember I took a bang on my foot halfway through. And I remember coming off at half time, I took my boot off and my toe had just gone pure black straight away. So I broke my toe basically. So I didn't come out for the second half. But that was in February. And then I ended up going to the
World Cup.
The World Cup,
That's
yeah.
unbelievable.
We'll get into that.
I remember a call up. Sven called me. You know, talking about how you get called
Yeah.
up. I got a phone call from Sven, but I thought it was the wind up. I ended up putting the phone down.
That's
it was a wind up, mate.
That's so bridging.
Oh yeah, good one. There you are.
Yeah, good one, Sven.
You thought it was a wind-up?
Yeah, I didn't actually realise until I went into the club the next day, and they had obviously said, "Yeah, you've got a."
So you absolutely custard pied him?
It wasn't really a custard pie, you know, when you're thinking, this ain't.
Can't be real.
It's a wind up. Oh yeah, all right.
When you playing well?
So then I was. What?
Yeah, but like, it's not like
When you
listen,
playing well?
See, this
No.
is where his brain ain't working. Like, if you're a
His
plumber,
brain ain't working.
if you're a plumber
Yeah.
or an electrician, and Sven calls you saying you called up, like it could be a wind-up.
Yeah.
You're left back for Southampton.
I know,
Premier
playing
League.
well.
Could be true, and you played for England.
It was one of them that I kind of like. I was like, oh yeah, all right.
Could be one of the lads.
Has it happened before?
whatever.
Has it happened before? A wind up on a wind up. Has it happened?
No, it's not happened before. So I didn't like custard him. I was like, yeah, kind of whatever, mate. Yeah,
Yeah, both. Both.
And it wasn't until I went in they go, oh, you've got a call. I was like,
Oh.
oh my god.
Oh, I could have been a bit more
It was
forthcoming.
actually him. I was like, oh no.
Could have been more forthcoming. Could
I
have been a
could
bit
have
more
sounded a bit
forthcoming.
happier. I'd been, oh yeah, buzzing to come along. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like complete custard.
This guy's so
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't really. It wasn't really.
I can't even
expecting it,
remember
I
mine.
guess.
Just to let people at home, like I think your first call up, the manager calls you.
Oh.
And then after that, you get just a text
Yeah.
whether you're in from Michelle.
Yeah,
Remember Michelle?
Oh,
Yeah.
Mish.
And she was like the
Lovely girl. Lovely woman.
secretary. Yeah, and she looked at organised everything, all the travel and everything. Was
How
like,
did she do all of that? Like,
mate, her and the
everyone
team,
tickets. Do you
yeah,
remember
Anne
she got
Romilly,
bombarded
Joe
for
Bud,
tickets?
yeah, and she was like, they basically were the mums of the
Yeah.
squad. So the people listening, like you'll go there and like your base camp there, and there's an office, and anything you need, whether
Go to the
it be-
office.
you go to the office. What do you need? Tickets. You need something. Car park places.
I just used to sit in the office and just
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to Mish.
Cup of tea. Yeah, I'd go in. I was going in for a cup of tea, just
yeah.
like it was that nice energy. But I remember I had the same phone call from Sven, but I must have been thinking I've got half a chance. Like, so I was thinking, so he's called me and I was like, oh, thanks. Like I was genuinely buzzing, and I celebrated by going for a McDonald's in Romford Town Centre. He's like, what'd you do? I think we had a game the next, like, you know what I mean? I was like, I went and I was like sitting there, and it's surreal because I look back and go back to my Gaza moment in 1990 when I was 1990. So this is 12 years later, and I've been called up to the England squad, and think, wow, I'm going to be doing that, going to the World Cup with England. And I thought, what? And I just went and just sitting there having a quarter pounder or something. And but we both went to Japan, didn't we? When we was
Yeah.
young. You played quite a bit there, didn't you? You come on a few times.
I played quite a bit.
You did knock
few
it out.
minutes.
For him,
few minutes.
Obviously, judging by the way he said it, it was way too much.
You know what? I'll come on.
played.
I know. I did
You were
come
free.
on. No, I
I
came
only
on.
come on for a little bit. We was 19 and 20.
I
Weren't we?
know, like, obviously I would have loved to have played loads more, but obviously Ash was just brilliant, and
was
every
flying,
tournament
wasn't
he was never injured. And I come on against Argentina where we won 1-0 right near the end. So I was like buzzing to get on the pitch, like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
you're buzzing to have actually got on the pitch. But you know what it's like when you're a footballer, you want to play all the time.
Yeah.
But that's not that time did you.
No, that was 2006.
What, when you scored that volley? Yeah.
What a goal.
There's a goal that just popped up in my head then, because I've actually got my shirt from that game signed by the whole team. Was it against Sweden? Your
Yeah.
volley from miles out.
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable goal that was.
Was that your first game?
No, this was like 2006, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're
I
talking
remember.
A goal that he
2002.
scored just popped up in my head. It was
Yeah.
against Sweden, mate. Miles out. And I remember because I was in the dugout from behind.
Yeah.
And did you chest it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just chested it, mate. And
Bang.
it's gone, like, it's just the dip in it. And like,
What did he say to him afterwards, after that goal? What did he say to him? You must have
I
said
don't think
something.
Nothing. He was just buzzing, mate. I think everyone was just buzzing, wasn't it?
He was a rock star, man. He had his hair flowing, like, took off his top,
It's,
going like that. He was brilliant.
That
He
first
was.
tournament we went to, though,
You took off your top.
it was.
No.
Did you take off your top for that goal?
No, because we got booked, because that was the era when you used to get booked for it. But that was my forte. I like to get naked.
That was your energy, man.
that first one we went to in Japan was just mad. I remember the kickoff of our first game, and they love a camera over there, don't
Oh,
they?
yeah.
It was like fireworks, mate. I reckon nearly every person in that crowd was their cameras going off with a flash, and it was like
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
it was
mad, wasn't it?
yeah.
Indoor stadiums, do you remember that?
Yeah,
There was like
yeah.
air
It's like
conditioned
the first time.
stadiums.
Oh, they had a roof on.
Roof on. Yeah, they didn't mess about.
What, detractable roof?
The Japanese did not mess about. They
Yeah,
was
but
on
they're
it.
forward thinking, didn't they?
Yeah.
We get a lot of ideas from over there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Even fashion.
Yeah, so we that was our first tournament together.
Yeah.
And we both was young, so we both wasn't playing. I think you played a few times. I might have
played
come
a
on a
couple,
couple
yeah.
times. I come on
Twice
once.
for a couple of minutes.
Like, so we was there. So we was. I mean,
What did you remember about it? What stuck out?
what stuck out for me?
for you?
I got like probably two,
Like the players,
three,
and like the older players.
I have three memories that really stick out
Go
from
on.
the tournament. Well, the one I already mentioned.
Yeah.
The other one was actually you, and it was a Scholesy when he smashed you in training.
Yeah.
Because I remember you. I think you had twisted Keown up a few times, and you were doing loads of tricks. I think Scholesy's head had just gone with you because you were just doing all sorts and going round people, and he come along and just clattered you.
Yeah.
And
It
it,
was
it
a hard
stuck
tackle.
out for me, and I just thought it was harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was harsh, but I loved the way you handled it. You just got up and carried on doing it. just do what
you know what
Joe Cole
Sven-
does.
That's what he
you know what I
does.
mean?
You know what's-
Never changed him.
Do you know what Sven said to me before the Brazil game? Wasn't starting, right? But, you always thinking I might get on.
Yeah.
And we're preparing. And I had to be Brazil. It was like, we had to play the shape as Brazil. You must have been playing as Brazil with me against the first team. And he went to me, just go and be Ronaldinho. He said, like, I want you
What?
to...
Yeah.
Like, because he said, like, just go, just like, be unpredictable. Right, that's my remit, Sven.
I'll be Ronaldinho.
So, like, it might have been that set, and I'm just like, going, right. So I'm just trying to be like, well, I'm just like, and it felt like, like, I just remember really enjoying myself.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay,
'Cause training, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, and then,
Flip flaps and all that.
it was all things were coming out. You know what I mean? I was like, it was brilliant. But I remember playing against. I remember the Argentina game being really naughty because the Beckham incident in '98 with Simeone.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of needle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember when he got the penalty, the silence in the arena was just because it was like it had like
The silence was deafening.
the silence was deafening, Coley. It was like because it had like there was a story behind it. The Beckham thing and all the stick he got at the last World Cup where the whole country turned on him, and he stood up and I remember looking when he put that penalty in. I thought, mate, fair play to you because I was like, wow, because
Got
the
some cojones,
the cojones were real.
The cojones were large.
Yes.
Domineering.
Yeah, but I personally loved the tournaments because I loved football and I just like I remember we used to just chill. There was again before computer games, really. We never really video games. did
We'd
we?
have like a little arcade in the
Little
hotel.
arcade, table tennis pool.
tennis,
Yeah.
I'd watch
pool.
every game, like, and I was just like, this is brilliant. Like a youth club for kids watching football and I'm getting to play for England.
And your pals as well. that
With
you
my
make your
mates, I
friends
couldn't
and all
believe
that.
it. It was
Yeah.
like you didn't go to a tournament.
I didn't go
Colin?
to a tournament. The tournament I was supposed to have gone to the 2010 World Cup.
What happened?
Got injured. I was having a storm of a season, and there was a few because I was obviously for West Ham at the time, and then I just got injured at the wrong time, geez. Like I was in the squads for like 2009
Yeah.
all the way up, going up to 2010. So that season, I was like really kicking on as well, and I've just broken into the England squad. And that 2010 tournament was coming up, and I remember like I think it was the back end of the season before I started to get into I got called up, and then coming to that point, it was January window was coming up, and I already knew that I might have had to leave West Ham as well.
Really?
Yeah, because Arsenal needed a striker at the time. So who was it? Who was the Gramundi? Remember Gramundi?
Yeah,
he was like the director of football at the time, I think, over there, or the head of recruitment. And he came to watch me that day. And then I'd gone into a 50-50 with the beast, they call him, goalkeeper, Jensen from Burnley. The goalkeeper is massive.
Okay.
Yeah? So I've gone into a 50-50 with him. And then I already had a bad knee already.
Yeah.
And then I've gone into it and he kind of snapped my PCL, but I didn't know at the time. And then I just felt something go. And so basically your knee's like that.
Yeah.
That's your joint, goes like that. But when he came into me, he's obviously, it's like they always say it's you get this injury in a car crash.
Yeah.
And then so my knee went back like that.
Yeah.
There's a ligament in there that keeps your knee together, tied together, so it doesn't move. And then I've snapped that, and it's hard to repair. And that's why my knee, if you look at my knee now, everyone...
We can ride a bus for it.
Yeah. Like, I got one straight knee and the other one, well, kind of straight, but the other one's just like a letter D. I've talked about this before, but that's what kind of... And then...
Was that from that incident,
Yeah, from that incident.
See, people don't understand that.
And I was supposed to... That January window, Arsenal were about to put in about, I think it was a £20 million bid in for me. And £20 million was quite big back then.
Big
you know what
money,
I mean?
mate.
And they needed a striker there and then. So he come. I remember I went upstairs. I went into the box, and then he come in. He says, "Oh, how long you gonna be?" And I said, "I don't know what I've done yet." So I said, "I'll go and get the scan." When I went and got the scan a couple of days later, then they told me what happened, and I was like, oh, "Same knee. How's my luck?" Do you know what I mean? Like. And that's why I kind of had to change my game a little bit as well, because I was flying back then, and I was supposed to go to the World Cup because I was like the understudy for Emil Heskey, innit?
Yeah. Well, I'd say you was pushing him.
Yeah, I was pushing him at that time.
Emil come back from... Emil come
back.
back.
Aston Villa, I think.
Yeah, but he come back from the cold. Capello brought him in from the cold. He went and played for England for a while, and you was fine.
You know, I've got the record, an England record.
Go on. I've got to hear this.
You need to hear this. I've got the most amount of appearances for England, 7.
Yeah.
Without starting the game.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
It's mad, isn't it? It's crazy. How bonkers is that? I've got to put it out there. That's my claim to fame for England.
Yeah.
Like, I've got the most amount. I might have changed by now. I don't think it has.
Without
starting the game for England.
Okay.
Most amount of England appearances.
So you didn't play for England after 2010? After that knee injury?
I did.
You did. You got back in. Yeah.
I got back in, and then but hit a bit of bad luck as well. In the 2012, we got 2011-12, we got relegated.
Yeah.
So then I kind of, if I wanted to carry on my England career, I got told that I had to go and play for another Premier League side.
Yeah.
And I said, nah, I could still get in, because I was thinking Jay Buffroyd had got in playing for Cardiff in the Championship. Who else? Bobby Zamora is around there as well.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, Steve Ball.
Yeah,
Steve Ball, yeah.
That's the old from the champ. Yeah. Playing for England from the champ. So I was thinking, do you know what? I got a chance.
Yeah.
Let me just. And they know that I've been in the system before.
Yeah.
But I think that's what done me, because you had younger players coming through now. Just remember it's like a recap. It's like a reset button after a World Cup.
Yeah.
Like, who's next? Who's going to be in 4 years going to the Euros?
Yeah.
So I think I was about 25 at the time, 26.
Yeah.
So it was like, I could get to 30 and probably get in.
Yeah.
But I'd have to have a storm of a season, you know what I mean? And I'm nursing a bad knee. And I didn't have an operation that year when I'd done my knee. I didn't have an operation, and I had the option to do it. I should have done it, because I came back because I want to get back into the team, because England was coming up. I came back too early and I didn't hit my form again, so I couldn't get back. And it was only like last month for me to change the narrative to say, listen, I'm still fit. It was like those days where it's like an old boxer coming out of retirement. So I still got it, but it just doesn't happen. It gets knocked out. That was me getting knocked out, mate. Like it was worth doing though. I could not like say it was a big chance for me to go away with England and do a World Cup.
No, mate, you had to go like. It shows you like things can just change on a night, on a sixpence, innit? You know what I mean? An injury like that. And you don't go to the World Cup. Was that your first tournament?
My
2002 was my first tournament, and 2010 was my last.
Yeah.
Like you said, that 2006 was my best tournament. I played every game, and they played a big part, and it scored that goal. I mean, people's like the lads wind me up, like, because I think as footballers, attacking players, West Ham fans will remember you for the Championship. Playoff final goal, right? Think of all the goals you scored, all the great games you played in.
That's what I'll be. Yeah.
Like, Chelsea fans remember me for the goal against Man United to win the league, but most fans, they look at me if they've seen the street and they go, and it must be in their memory bank, they go, goal against Sweden.
Yeah.
Right? So my mates, being the nice people they are, people like, some see me in the street, they go, Joe, that goal against Sweden was amazing. And I go, thanks, mate. And then my mates go, he's still living off that?
That's the beauty of having good mates from school.
Don't, listen, he's living off that. And you can see the guys go, yeah, but it was a good goal. And they're just like battering me back.
It's brilliant. Do you know that? Like, having good friends like that keep you grounded is the best thing in the world.
They keep me grounded, mate.
Like,
Hammer me into the ground.
I think we keep each other grounded because we just hammer each other anyway. And then obviously you got others that are around us that always like have a little bit of banter with us. Can't get ahead of yourselves.
No, you can't.
It keeps you humble, man. It's brilliant. But what you've done in the game, both of you, is unbelievable. And you got to like. Whenever I say to my mates, I'm with Coley and Wayne Bridge, they're like, is it? What they like? What they like? I said, don't worry, you'll never meet them.
I've met a few of your mates.
No, I'm joking. No, you've met a few of my mates.
Yeah, so listen, like World Cups for me, I loved them. You didn't, Bridge. You was like...
I know I didn't love them.
Like,
obviously, for the Japan, I loved it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's my first one, but then when you're going, you want to play football, don't you? So it's like, do you know what? And Ash was just always... He was probably always one of England's best players.
And he was never
at tour, and he was never injured.
Never injured.
And if he
got
was
inducted
ever
for Hall of Fame, now, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was,
and rightly so.
Even though it was at the end of the season, he was fit anyway all the time. He could always carry on running. Do you know what I mean? And then even if he had a niggle, you'd always play for little niggles anyway. Just so for me, it was just. You know what I mean? You love being there. You love getting the call up. You obviously want to play. Yeah. So like that was just obviously just the frustration part for the people that don't play. Do you know what I mean? And it's always it's always the attackers really that. You know, if someone's going to come on, most of the time,
You're never gonna
it was
think
always going to be the
defensive,
attacker. Because if you looked at England's back four, they were, and the centre backs we always had, it would always be them that were going to come on, and if it was never really going to be me or anything, that was just a bit of frustration.
Unless there was an injury,
I loved being with England, but that was just part of it. That long tournaments when you're not playing, aren't they?
You like the cards?
Your chances.
Played a bit of cards. Which again, that was just, to be fair, that was just mainly out of boredom for everyone. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was always not a lot to do. I think it's different now when you watch.
Do you think they do this?
Bridgie. See, like, it's all talking about boredom. Yeah, mate. What was your most boring camp? Like.
Do you know what?
The one that you put restrictions on you. Restrictions. Let's talk
because there's not a lot to do, is there? There's never a lot to do. Once you've trained and you've got a rest. So there's boring parts, and I think that's mainly because you want to play. Maybe it's not as boring for you because you played a lot more. But there's loads of funny and weird things.
What manager made it boring?
Like our room.
What manager?
I don't think they made it boring, Geese. Because that's part. It's part and parcel of football, mate. You've got to rest. Do you know what I mean? But when you're not playing, and for instance, I don't know. I remember we're a team. We're going to get in the ice bath together. I don't like ice baths. I haven't played. I don't need to get in one. I'd rather go and train.
Yeah.
I remember with Sammy Lee, like having that little thing with him. And in the end, it got to a stage where actually, no. Do you know what? Let them go and train and play football. I'd rather play football than sit in an ice bath that I didn't really need.
Run.
Yeah. Because I always thought with England sometimes when you're not playing, the training, I've not done enough.
Yeah.
I like training. I like getting embarrassed. You haven't done enough. I get it for the people that are playing all the time. Just finished the season. They need that rest to recover. But that's why I was.
Yes, it's a tough balance, and it's a tough balance to get. We've got the lads who are playing, the lads who are not playing, and I always think to myself, when fans listen to this and they think you're getting bored, like it's, and you're sort of, it's more, what's the word I'm looking for? You're caged. You're caged. Like you want to be out, and I never quite understood.
Caged animal. This guy's a caged animal. You can't cage no goal.
You don't live like that.
You know, probably the best one in terms of
incarcerated.
In the pen.
Outside of the training.
Yeah.
And stuff at the hotel was Germany when we had a massive arcade thing. It was massive arcade, wasn't it? Yeah. Set up. There was tennis courts. Yeah. There was little bits around that you could do.
And I liked having the girls there and the families there because I popped.
Of course you did.
I can't believe you come out with that. I literally can't believe you just come out with that. No,
You need some
you know
rest
what?
and
I
recuperation, Colin.
think it was good. I loved having my mum and dad come over and everything.
Yeah, I did.
It was good. It's good to see
That's
them.
normal
Do you know what
life.
I mean?
Like
Yeah.
when I finished training, when we
It is
finished
good to
wherever
see 'em.
training,
Yeah, yeah.
like I didn't go home and sit down and I went
Not do
and see
anything.
my mates. So I went to see my
Yeah.
mum and dad, or I went, went
Yeah.
out with Carly to do something. So
I love seeing
That
my
was
mum and
great
dad
for me.
because they go to every tournament.
Yeah.
I loved seeing them.
yeah, my mum and dad and Bridget's mum and dad used to
They got on really
got
well.
on really well. And
Yeah.
like, mate, that's another thing. The lives that you can give to your parents,
yeah.
they come, they
Make new
travel.
friends.
My old man in Japan. That is two things that you would never ever would thought would the world would see together.
I remember calling my mum going, I was speaking to her for about 20 minutes and then I was going, I'll speak to dad. She went, I don't know where he is. I went, what do you mean? She went, well, he went out and I ain't seen him for quite a while now.
Got no interest in his son.
I'm going to go look for him in a minute. And I remember speaking to her now, like, I found him. He's in some local bar and not one of them can speak English. But they're all just laughing. And I was just like,
Well, your dad's got that energy.
and he's got a notepad out and he's writing stuff down.
To try and
I'm
communicate.
thinking, oh
To
my
try and
God, I can
communicate.
imagine my dad. He was probably a little bit like
He was
me at
probably
school, didn't
drawing
do
stuff,
great.
like
He was
to
probably
explain
selling
his
was probably all over the shop.
Listen to, I just remember a story of the Argentina game in 2002. Mum's rung me up. She said, he's embarrassing. What's he done? He said, we went back to the hotel after the Argentina game and there was the Argentinian journalists and fans were in this hotel and the England parents. And he said, your dad's got drunk and he's managed somehow to get the whole bar singing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina."
Oh my God.
And he's like, do you know-
unruly.
No, do you know what I mean? Like,
That's unruly.
This is a parent of a player. And my mum's just like, I can't take him nowhere. I'm like, that's all right, mum. Like, they won't notice. She went, they know he's your dad. Trust me, they know.
Because he's told everyone.
I'll tell you a story that sticks out from the Japan one. I roomed next to David James.
I was the other side of him. I know what
Do
you're
you
going to say.
remember when he's playing his drum and bass music all night?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
night.
I mean, all night. And I
Yeah.
remember waking up in the morning and go, J-Mo, what were you doing last night? He went, I'm trying this sleep deprivation thing to see how I train. So I'm like, what? He went,
What?
so he's basically, I said, what were you doing? He went, well, I was just doing press-ups and sit-ups, listening to drum and bass music all night to keep myself awake. This is how I train.
You know what? He's the leader of the pack with these weirdness of goalkeepers. He's like the leader. He's the one that you'd say, listen, ask J-Mo about stories of being a day in the life of a goalkeeper because goalkeepers are a different breed to us, outfield players. They're just crazy human beings. And if they're not crazy, they're not good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've
You've got to be wild.
some
still.
kind of deficiency somewhere.
Iron or zinc or magnesium.
Something's going on. Like, because look, I've got a story about goalkeepers, right? So Marcel Desailly, when I was younger, we was watching training, right? And he goes, Coley, come over here. I was like, yeah. And we was watching the goalkeepers like do their practice.
Yeah.
It's like, they're diving, you know what they do? Like, and then the guy's kicking the ball and it's like, he goes, see those guys over there, yeah? This is a World Cup winner, Marcel Desailly. Those guys over there, what do you notice that's different about them? And I'm like, I don't know, they're brave, maybe, this, that. He goes, no. He says, if you got a radio, yeah? So if you had a radio and you keep on throwing the radio on the floor, yeah? When you go to turn the radio on, would it work properly? Mate, and I've gone, you know, I had a light bulb on my head when the thinking light bulb. I was like, you're right. That's why they're crazy.
That's some logic there from Marcel. That's some
Marcel,
logic there.
what a guy, man. That stuck with me for the whole entire life.
Throwing themselves on the floor.
Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Putting yourselves in the firing line, getting hit on the head, getting hit in the nuts. Like, you're not going to come out normal after that, are you? You could have some kind of deficiency somewhere. Anyway.
That's true. That's
Sorry, I don't know where we segued into something else.
That's what we do on this pod.
But yeah, look, for me, like when I look at my time with England, I got regrets, obviously, because I didn't score.
We all have Coley, though.
I didn't score, and I really could.
Things you wish you maybe had done differently.
Yeah. But I'd remember going into sometimes like, and I know it sounds ungrateful, and going into England camps and just not looking forward to it sometimes because Capello was he was good for me, but he wouldn't let us do much. If you understand what I'm saying, and I know he was for us. But I just don't think he trusted us as footballers. Like if you'd have gone into
wise man.
He's heard the stories. But we was out in what? I
was right. I should have locked him in more.
Yeah. This guy. So we had Watford. We was over in Watford, the Grove, weren't we? That was our base at the time.
Yeah.
So there was no St George's at the time.
Yeah.
And,
I think it was mainly the food thing he brought in, really.
Yeah, the food thing was really bad. Like there was no condiments. Like, couldn't get a ketchup. Couldn't get no vinegar.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want
condiments.
No mayonnaise, man. Come on, man. I need mayonnaise with my chicken.
Do you remember the pressure Tim, the chef, was under? Right? Because you'd be like Tim was like he'd be standing there proudly behind his food, usually like wait because he was obviously good at what he does,
chef.
right?
Very good
and then like the lads like looking, going, Tim, danger,
man. It's dry, man. I can't.
Get a sack, man. You get a sack.
And then you'd be like, come on, and in the end, like you didn't see him, like the food would be dropped in, be gone.
Yeah, mate. He was
any balsamic or anything, any
juice, any juice. I can't have this orange juice with my
any
fried chicken.
H2O.
But that's the thing about. That was what I didn't look forward to. The food. The food was horrendous back then. I remember when we went away to. I think we were playing Ukraine.
Yeah.
Played Ukraine, and I remember we was in the hotel. It was like Ukraine, you know the hotels over there. It's like old school, isn't it?
Yeah,
proper old school. And I remember coming into the dinner part, the place where we have our dinner, and this is when I knew that Capello was the biggest of bosses.
Yeah.
So and because I look up to Emil, but we weren't allowed phones.
Right.
In like at dinner time.
Yeah.
So if he saw a phone, it was a good rule. But it's Emil Heskey, man. Like, this guy's seasoned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking, this is Emil. What a guy he is. And I just remember he was on his phone at the table, and I think Capello just walks in, sees him, and then he goes to the trays. Yeah. You know, like the dishes where the food is. Picks one up and goes. Emil, no phones. No, talking to him like a little boy. I was like, oh my God. That's Emil Heskey's talking to you like that. Who the hell am I? I was like that. Phone. I threw it over my shoulder.
I got that about 3 or 4 times.
Did you?
3 or 4 times. Right, but this is where I think like I would have taken this a bit more serious note because like I know we're laughing and joking about us. When we had to put our bodies on the line and do it as good as we could for England, we tried, right? And we gave everything 100%. Like, and no one more than me wanted to win something for England. I would give my, I'd chop off my finger now to if we could have won a World Cup. I promise you. So, but what I would say, what Capello, in fairness to him, I think he come into an era where the press were like. England players were ill-disciplined, not good enough. Bridgie, ill-disciplined. There's like that. We'd got to quarterfinals the last tournament. Went out on penalties, which is it's a fag paper either way, whether you get through, right? And what my opinion? What was the thing that we needed to be tactically better? We played 4-4-2. When we come up against a Spain or a Portugal, and they'd be finding them little pockets like rotating. Patterns of play going through. We didn't have that because that wasn't our culture, and that's changed. Which you have to give Gareth Southgate and the FA a lot of credit for because the players now the game's moved on. But I think Capello come in and thought, right, these lads need more discipline. We actually needed. It wasn't discipline. We needed an idea and a style of play which is going to help us in international football.
I think that phone thing was more of us sitting together and being more together, bringing us together and bonding more as a team.
You've heard that story though, Bridgie, that everyone says that we were disjointed as a team. Like Manchester United boys would just be sitting with themselves. Chelsea lads would be sitting with themselves. Liverpool lads would just. I didn't really see it because I used to float around.
You was on the back end of it, Cole.
Yeah, but I didn't see it as intensely as that. What was that story? What's that story about? Is that true?
I got in under Keegan.
Go on.
So sorry, Bridget. I got in under Keegan where you had like the class of '92 who were really good with me, because I was a young player. And I remember Phil Neville and Scholesy and Butty being the first faces I saw as I walked in as a 17-year-old to train with the squad, and they really looked after me, and I'd always be grateful for them. But having said that, they had that Man United thing where they come together. Then there was the Liverpool thing. And then that sort of, then when Rio went to Man United, he went there. Then the Chelsea thing emerged, and then it was just
They're just
like,
totally different times, those, aren't they?
yeah,
as
like,
well?
and so there was that. But the manager and Sven, bless him, I love him, and what a man he was. I think, and his team should have addressed it a bit earlier. Should have made. If I was England manager, I'd have gone right. Rio, Frank, JT, Stevie, come here. Right, listen. We need to stop this now. Listen, what, like, you all want to win. You've got to put that aside. And I'd just put it like, what, don't you like him? Don't you like, do you know what I mean? Have it out. And I'd be like, not that they didn't like each other, because they did. I'm like, you've got to stop it now. So I don't want to see, you are not allowed to sit with you. You come on, boys, come together. We'll play golf. What do you want to do? Do you want a day off?
Yeah.
And I would have brought us all together in one way. And I think Gareth broke that up. But when Gareth took over the England squad, the England squad wasn't at its highest point, and the players weren't competing for titles.
Yeah.
That was sort of coming down.
Yeah.
But I would have really made that my focus. That should have been the focal point. And Stevie's a great lad. Frank's a great lad. And Carra and all of the boys. I mean, you'd have got them all together. And I think if they've been led and driven by the manager and the staff, I think it could have been better.
For us, yeah.
But looking back now with hindsight, which is obviously, I think there was
division in the camp. There was
tiny, yeah.
I guess that's down to the manager fixing it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the manager.
Who do you think have been England's best manager? I've obviously always loved Hoddle.
Yeah,
because I had him at Southampton, and I just thought
that's another thing.
He might have
football
been the best.
knowledge. The way he had us playing was amazing. Would he have been best for the team in terms of bringing himself? I don't know.
Probably.
If he would have at England, I don't know.
Glenn
Well,
was
did
obviously
he not do that when he was?
Yeah, no, it was great. I think the way we were playing.
How did he
football
bond
was
the
brilliant.
team? How did he bond the team?
I just didn't know. England's just totally different. They're very different. Being at Southampton, being at England, it's just totally different. I wasn't with England, so I wouldn't know what it was like.
I could tell, because I work with Glenn a lot. We work with him.
Yeah, we're on the team.
And I sit down to him, and he's just the knowledge of football, and he sort of got stitched up. You know, with people stitched up by the journalists.
Yeah, 100%. We are. I know that.
He got stitched up by the journalists, the FA. Like, listen, his views outside of football were irrelevant, and they were twisted anyway.
Oh, 100%.
Journalists.
100%.
When we look back, though, journalists actually did not help our cause of winning
that's
anything.
one thing I was going to ask.
So much pressure.
Went on to something else. Did you ever really feel the pressure playing from England, thinking about the press when you were playing?
No,
when you were actually playing.
But you know why?
Do you think people did though?
100% people.
There were people.
The reason I didn't.
I always wonder. I didn't think there's certain people. I wonder
would have been affected by
they didn't, but they affected the way they played.
Pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But the reason I didn't was because I was brought up with that pressure to play from a young kid. There was eyes on me playing. So stepping up to England, it actually prepared me for it. It was no different to me from club football. I was going to go and do my thing, and if it was good enough, it was good enough, and it weren't. You know, I've managed that, but 100% players, the press had such an influence on that, and they had that. You know,
they had like
they got England managers sacked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Players,
but they had.
I think that's where it comes back to that mental side of things we talked about.
Yeah.
The other.
They're not messed up. The leaks. It was the leaks
last week.
Yeah.
Like in the camp, who was leaking the stories that the press always got a hold of? And then you'll be away with England, and then there'll be something that happened yesterday in the press the next day. Like how that will divide the team as well. So people don't understand. So when we're talking about Manchester United, Liverpool, whatever, Chelsea, and the rivalry, when there's leaks in the camp, you'd think it's one of those lot. And then you're thinking, you know, and then you start sneaking, start talking quietly, and it creates a division within the camp. Mentally, it does. And that no one ever thinks about that, how much the press influence where it's the mood at the camp.
It's really hard, isn't it? Because, it's hard for a manager to get everything right, isn't it? Tactically right, getting the teams together, bonding. Like when you look at England rugby, and obviously I'm not in it, but from what I see, like they're like, we're this. And I think did England need a little bit of that in camp? Is there always a little bit of
there is
something they're missing for that? And then is that a manager bringing that in? That's got to come from the players as well, though. Of like,
Yeah, it's got
that togetherness.
It's got to come from. It's got to come from the. It's got to come from the manager.
I'm not saying
100%.
he didn't add it because
No.
I'm not in it We're not in it anymore. So with Gareth, I look at it and I think there is a togetherness in it, but I'm not in it, and
I know there definitely is. You can
I just
see
think
it.
that when
You've got social media. You've got social media. Everyone's
We've been
patting each other on the backs.
I guess we're never going to know, but obviously because we've been in this squad, you're like, there's that little something missing.
There's something, yeah. There's something like, and again, like I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, but I think for any team to win a World Cup or European Championship, there needs to be something divine.
Yeah.
Like when Argentina won the World Cup, and I look at their run with Messi, that come from something else. It was written in like, and you hear stories about how Messi, the manager Scaloni you played with, how he.
I didn't play with him. He came before. He's not got a good name.
Right, okay.
Apparently.
Right, okay. Well, West Ham...
He made a mistake.
World Cup or no World Cup, West Ham fans ain't going to be giving the ball to Stevie G.
Yeah, that's it.
But he talked about how he needed to connect the new players with Messi. And Messi, apparently, from what we understand, is a standoffish kid, like a reluctant leader, if you like. And he made this thing where he brought them together somehow. I can't remember how it was, but... And they because they are Latin players, they're very sort of they're intuitive and they're passionate, and I think with England I think we need a bit of that.
Proud.
We're proud, but we need a bit more
conservative.
It needs to come from the passion and back to what we was in the 70s, 60s, and
well, that's the drinking days. Drinking culture.
Something in that we just missing with this. Everything else is there, and I think the next England
ingredients.
We're going to get onto it now. The next England squad, they need something that needs a little bit more that passion, spirit. Remember Argentina quickly. The Argentina-Holland game when it went to 2-2, and Argentina were going to lose. They'd already been 2-0 up. They should be through to the semi-finals of the World Cup, and all of a sudden, the Dutch team got back to 2-2. And they were in their face and all that. And I think it was Rodrigo de Paul, the midfielders. The game was running away from them. They were going to lose the game. And you shouldn't do this, any young players. The ball broke in front of the Holland box and he smashed the ball at Louis van Gaal, and the ball smashed into the thing. Started a big, massive brawl. Messi's in there, bang.
Yeah.
And it was a momentum shift in the stadium.
Yeah.
And everything, and the game changed. And then you could see the Argentinian players going, all right,
we'll have this.
I'll bring in the fight now.
Bring it to that level.
Yeah.
And then they went bang. And then Scaloni...
I remember it.
And they won 3-2. Yeah. And then Messi was called someone to the big centre forward. Foul or to give him something. But there's going to be moments like that in the next World Cup where Thomas Tuchel England team are going to have to find something which is...
Got to ruffle some feathers.
You've
got to do it, because that's the edge. That's the edge that the maybe 10% that you need.
We're too polite. We're too polite now as England. We're
nice.
We're apologetic.
We're nice.
We're too apologetic.
What about the dark side of the game?
Do you know, when I brought up the bit about the players worrying about whether it's the press or the fans of not playing... relaxed enough. There's another bit that stands out for me at one of the World Cups. I don't know if you remember this. We're on a coach. We're all sat there in our suits, very quiet, not a lot being said. And I can't remember the bus that pulled up.
Cameroon,
and
mate.
they're coming out.
Pulled up. No, mate. Honestly, music there. They're all dancing down the bus like ready. Let's go have a game of football.
There's something in that.
I just felt like, I don't know. I know everyone's different, but I think we need to just
mellow out.
That's why I love Cole Palmer. I think when he goes and plays, I feel like he plays with no fear.
He lets the game
like
play
he's playing on the park.
And that's a
not
there's a
worrying
thing in that.
about anything after what people are thinking or
don't care. Say what you want as well.
No one goes out. No one goes out on that field to make a mistake or play a bad pass.
That's exactly what.
Just want to enjoy the game as well.
And I think it can affect, and maybe it did affect a few of the players, and it does still maybe.
Because you care. Do you know what it is? It's because you care.
Yeah.
You care. You don't want to let your country down.
Yeah.
And that's, I know Glenn isn't for everyone because it's very hard at something, but he was very good at that for me.
Yeah.
And visualization and things and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I'd if I was the England manager going into this World Cup, if I was Thomas Tuchel, that would be what I'd be trying to galvanise. I'd be just like, let the boys. I'd want to get to know them as people. I want, because I need to know that, because at one moment Thomas Tuchel's going to have to stand up in front of the team in a difficult moment, and he's going to have to find something. People. There's loads of people that think football's X's and O's, and we're going to do this,
you have the best players in the world.
You have the best players in the world. You're going to have to have that relationship, and you let them boys feel like like you said, none of them want to go out there and play bad. They all want to go and win the World Cup for England, and that make them feel that give them the license to go and play freely.
Yeah,
at a big tournament.
There's something in sometimes not having to pick the best team. So you could have the best players.
Yeah.
So now we kind of know who the best players in this country are.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they have to be picked for England.
Yeah.
And you don't have to merge the best players together to win things. Sometimes you need water carriers. Sometimes you need a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need someone that can do box to box.
Yeah.
Someone that can just quick.
Yeah.
And if you could get them all in those ingredients, or someone that's really creative.
Yeah.
And if you could get those ingredients together, whether they're the best in their field or not, they don't have to be the best. They've just got to be able to merge together to be the best team.
On that day.
On that
moment.
Not even that moment. In that tournament.
Yeah.
So now when we're talking about the Cameroons coming off the coach, they probably know they've got that.
Yeah.
Well, I could depend on him because he's relaxed. He knows I know what he can do. And then you trust that person because you're in the same ship with him. And I know he'll run through a brick wall for me. When it's not going bad, I know that's my insurance plan because he'll cover me. You know what I mean? Not, start pointing fingers. You didn't do that. Get back. You want that encouragement, but the delivery sometimes has to be better so it doesn't divide the way I think about you as a person. And I said, why do you keep on shouting at me, digging me out all the time? And that needle can always get to the next level, as in you start defying. No, I'm not going to run. No, you do it.
Yeah.
I want you to make a mistake. This, that, and the other, so you stop playing the next game.
The boys on the bench need to they need to feel part of it, but they also need to know that they're standing with their players.
This is what I'm saying. I always say that it's a squad game. Yeah. So the boys on the bench. I always want to say to my managers, if I'm a sporting director of football one day, I'll say, listen, the boys that you pick, the first 11, forget about them. Yeah. See the ones that are not playing. Yeah. Those are the ones you need to keep happy, mate.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones going to prop, and they're the ones going to prop you up when it's going bad, and when you need when your plan A don't work, those boys on the bench are going to make your plan B work. So you better make sure that they're happy too. So you need a squad that's happy, and whether they're playing or not doesn't matter. They know that I've got a role to play in this team at some stage, and just make them feel appreciated. That's coming from me. That's been on the bench, rode the bench a few times, obviously.
We all have.
So I'm talking from experience, and I'm the type of person that was never hating on anyone. I wanted everyone to do well. I never said that striker. I should have been a little bit probably like that a little bit more, but I wanted that striker to go and get a bucket full of goals. Go and be the main man because I want to win something with you. I want that memory. And I hope this England squad that gets picked now realise that and go and make history and go and be the best they can be.
I think that is a beautiful way to leave it. Man was like a young John Takana there.
I'll take that from you. Hey, don't leave me like that. Yeah, boy.
Listen, you said from the heart, and having played with you, I know that is absolutely true. You mean it. Just a quick thought before we go. Looking ahead, lastly, just a quick looking ahead to the World Cup after Tuchel. Wouldn't it be great if we took the podcast on the road for the World Cup? I've just thrown that idea out there. I know the bosses are...
Here he is.
Someone asked the boss.
I'm up for it.
I think I can hear messages being pinged now from the green room.
Ping. What an idea.
What an idea, yeah. So
America, here we come.
We love England. We love it. There's cowboy hats. We've been a lot.
Mate, we'll come to camp and we'll just
arrive for the pod on the back of a horse.
We'll interview the players on site.
To be fair, your legs are all right for running. Right, okay.
I do the bull riding, mate.
That's true.
I need it more wild.
On that note, thank you for listening to The Dressing Room with our Arabiya News. See you soon.